You know, Leonardo da Vinci had to imagine a lot of his objects that he drew in motion. He put down a lot of notes in anticipation of what they might do and how they would react in reality. But what if Leonardo could draw an object, let's say a helicopter or a plane or a tank or whatever he was doing, and then it came to life for him to actually see? Now that would be cool. And in reality, that's what Algodoo actually does. It allows you to create a two-dimensional drawing of any object you can imagine and then bring it to life. So today we're going to learn the basics of Algodoo. And eventually I'll be taking you through other lessons, more advanced as the time goes on, to improve your skills. And as time goes on, you will probably be able to do just about any science experiment, whether you're in junior high or high school, or maybe even in college, but it'll be at a two-dimensional level. So let's start. Go to your favorite web browser. For now, I'm just going to use Chrome. Type in the word Algodoo. You can see I have that already. Algodoo. It should be the first thing that comes up on the web page. Let me get this open a little bit more. Then go down to downloads. When you get to downloads, as you can see, you can download it free for both Windows and for Mac. And I think they even have one up here for iPad as well. So go ahead and download it, set it up, and I'll meet you in the next segment. All right, so you have downloaded Algodoo and installed it. Now to access it, you might have a application folder on Windows or in your Mac. You go there. I know you can even make a shortcut out of it if you wish, but right now I'm just going to go to my applications folder and click on it. Now this is what should pop up the first time you run Algodoo. And of course, if you don't want to see this message again, you just click on do not show this message again. We have the setups, we have tutorials, and we have lessons. They are very basic, but they really don't always explain everything. That's why we're running this tutorial. So I'm just going to shut this down. And this is the background where you will actually make any object you can imagine, as long as it's 2D. Now, if you don't like the background, you can always change it. Up here on the top left is an icon that looks like a page of some sort. It says New Scene. Click on it, and you get 15 different scenes that you can choose from. For now, just for this particular tutorial, I'm going to choose Chalkboard. Now, I'm going to go over all these other icons a little bit later, but for right now, let's go down to this long rectangle that's divided into 3 parts. The first part are yellow icons. These are the manipulators. Their purpose is to manipulate the objects you have drawn on the scene. The blue icons are the icons you're going to use in order to make your object. And the green icons, well, those are your science and physics icons. And maybe even in this basic form, we'll give you an example of it. Down below, we'll go into what these icons do. And these up here, again, are materials and colors and stuff. We'll go into those a little bit later too. So let's just begin. Let's start with a simple one. Geometric forms in the form of rectangles and squares. As you can see, as I draw, you get a length and a width. You can actually get it to the exact measurement you wish. If you want to get a square, then all you have to do is hold the Shift key down and then draw, and it will make a perfect square for you. Now, the other thing you might want to do is, instead of having all, in this case, like white icons, you may want to color code them. So, if I click an object with the right button and go down to Appearance, I get a color bar. I can choose a color here if I wish. And as you notice down here, you can actually create whatever color you can imagine too here. This is using what is called the HSV colors, which are hue, which is color. And as you can see, as I maneuver it around, I get different colors. I'll keep it on red for now. S is saturation, which means how red you want it or how light. So you can go from a reddish down to even a pink color or a salmon color like here. I'm going to keep this in a heavy saturation. The value is really tone. It tells you how dark or how light your color is. The darker moves to the left, and so I can get a very dark red. Or, as I said, I'm just going to keep everything at 100% right now. Let's put a color onto the rectangles. I'll go here to appearance and I'll just choose green. I'll go to this rectangle and choose a blue color. Okay, so now I've got 3 colors here. Fantastic. Now, other things I could do once I have the colors out like this is to manipulate them as far as transparency. I told you the yellows, first of all, are here. These are the manipulators. So with this particular icon, I can move these in front or in back. Oh, wait a minute. That's going all in back. How do I get it to the front? Well, for that, you go to click right, you go down to selection, and you have it move to the front. Right here, front. Now, there was one other part of the HSV, which is A, which stands for opacity. Suppose I wanted to make this look kind of glassy color. Well, here's what I'm going to do. First, I'm going to click on this, go to Appearance, and choose the A here. And this will give me the opacity. Right now it's 100%. I can reduce it down. And as you see, as I reduce it down, we can now see through the red. And again, I can maneuver this anywhere I want. So that's the basics for making a rectangle and a square. Let's see what other shapes we can make. The next shape you want to make probably is a circle. And we do have a circle tool here that we can use. Again, we hold down the mouse and we just stretch out. And you can see it's stretching out and giving us a number at radius. That's 1/2 the diameter. Now, when we unclick it, we get this, what looks like someone took a piece of our pie out. If you don't want that shape, click on it again. Go to, let's see, we want to go to Appearance, and then down to Draw Circle Cake, and unclick it. Once you unclick it, you now have a solid color. Let's make it a interesting color, I guess. Well, let's make it blue again. Or green. If I needed to with the exact, I don't have to measure it again. I could just click and clone it. I can click and clone again if I wanted to. Where is it? Well, it's there. You just have to use the Move tool to see it. Now sometimes it isn't a circle you want. It may be an oval shape, but there is no oval shape down in the blues. So to take a circle and make it into an oval shape, you use this particular icon, which is in yellow. It's called the Scale tool. Once you click on it, you get a box with 6 dots. With those 6 dots, I can now make any oval shape I want. And again, just like all the others, I could turn it around, put a different color, and even we could even alter its opacity and then maneuver it into it. Okay, do you remember how we got it to the front? We did a selection, and then what did we do? We went to selection, and then we now move to the front. There we are. So now I have this circle within. So now you know how to make a circle and a oval. Okay, so you said, well, this is great. I made a oval, a circle, a rectangle, and a square, but what if I want to make a triangle? Well, if you want to make a triangle, what you can use is the polygon tool. That's this tool right here. With a polygon tool, you start at one point, draw it, make a second point, hold, and you got your triangle. Maybe you want a right triangle, so you come down straight, and now to the left, and boom, you have a right triangle. The polygon can also make weird shapes. And I just call them weird because I'm just going to just make any shape I want, which is pretty easy since I'm using my left hand. There you go. Or I can make an organic shape. In other words, with the polygon tool, I can make just about any shape again. In fact, I could go ahead and make a square with using the polygon shape. Or, now let me get that. Let me resize that a little bit so we get this down. And of course, as you can see, I can make this into a diamond shape even. Look at that. And again, with the move tool, if I wanted to make a circle, all I have to do is make a circle. I'm doing this with my left hand, so let's see how well I do it. There you go. And again, if you don't like the so-called pie, click on it, go to Appearance, and then hit the Draw Circle Cake, unclick it, and boom, you got a circle. So with the polygon tool, you can make all the shapes. You can make diamonds, you can make triangles, you can make organic shapes, you can make circles. You're pretty much unlimited with the polygon to make any shape. You can make hexagons, whatever. Okay, let's move on. Another part of motion is actually wheels and such. Let's look at the gear tool for a minute. With the gears, as I stretch out, the gears become more solid. I can make it any size I wish. I'm going to take the move tool and connect them. Oops, I think I still had the gear, so let me undo that. That's how easy you do it. Let me get to the move tool here and maneuver it right there. Like I said, I'm using my left hand. Okay, now with this particular axle, if I click with the right button and I hit axles, I can turn it into a motor. Yeah, which means when I hit the green button, this is what's going to happen. Cool, huh? Okay, so I could take another gear if I want. And I'll add it to it. I seem to be hitting that and forgetting to use my move tool. Like I said, I'm using my left hand. Great. Now when I hit the button, get more gears going. These are the big principles of and the basics for Algodoo. So we've learned something about squares, triangles, ovals, circles, organic or geometric shapes, and now how to use the gear tool. Now some of you look at this sheet and you see it's all green in place, and you probably want something maybe to measure by a little bit easier. Well, you do have a grid down here you can use. If you click on the grid, this appears. And here you can actually make the grid any size you wish, as small as you wish. Then when you start making shapes, they will snap to it. But you might say, what if I don't want it to snap? What if I need it between the shapes? Well, again, you have to hold down the Alt key and click. And when you do that, you're not being snapped. It takes the snap off. There you go. So with the snap key, it will snap to any part of the grid. You can change the grid size to anything you wish. And if you need to put down a measurement that is not snapping, just hold down the Alt key as you make your shape. So to give you a taste of what Algodoo can do, let's look at some past projects. I'm going to go here to this scene here, go back to File and Load Scenes. I'm going to sort by name. I have these under numbers. Here's one where a person actually made a gun. Now watch, when I press the play button and I hit the enter, it will fire. Now you can add sound effects to this if you wish, but this is showing the X-ray of what a gun looks like when it's being fired. Let's look at another. This is a calculator. Once I press on, I can press a number, 44 times 88 equals, and there we have a number. Let's look at another one. Now this is a grandfather clock, and once I turn it on, it's working. In fact, I can actually maneuver this to the time I have right now. For me, it's a little bit later, but let's just say it was 7 o'clock. So if I maneuver this at 7 o'clock, it will actually stay and keep time. All those gears we were looking at, they're there in order to maneuver the clock at a certain speed. That's pretty cool. Welcome to the Academy of Leonardo's Apprentice. Today we're going to look over Algodoo, a 2D paint motion program. I guarantee if Leonardo da Vinci had lived, he would have loved this program because he had to write down his notes and his drawings in books and then imagine them in motion. But what if you could draw an object on paper and then it came to life? Well, basically that's what Algodoo will allow you to do, and we'll show you how. So first things first, let's get Algodoo. If you don't know where to go, just go to your favorite browser. I'm going to use Google, Chrome. At the top here I'm going to put Algodoo, A-L-G-O. Okay, so I promised you a bonus, and that's going to be using this particular tool called the brush tool. Now here's all I'm going to do. I'm just going to take the brush tool and make kind of a bucket. That's a lousy bucket, but that's okay. And then from the green tools, I'm going to grab the spring tool and connect it. Okay, I know, it looks cool, but you're not impressed. Not until I hit the green button. Now by using the little hand in the yellow tools, I can actually maneuver it. Look. But there's something else. I could take another object. Let's say I'll put this object in. I'll make a little box. And then what I'm going to do, let me shut this off for 1 second. I'm going to take the box and click it and hit liquefy. Once I do that, hey, I've got water. And of course, by using this tool, or if you're using an iPad or a touch screen, you can actually use your fingers too instead of the tool, and you can maneuver it to, yes, cause some havoc. That's okay. You know why? Because you can go down to this bottom arrow here and redo everything and have fun again. So this is kind of an object lesson on the motion capabilities of Algodoo. It was meant to be a basic introduction to the tools, a little bit of an introduction to what you can do with motion. We will continue these lessons on, and the next part I will probably get more into the physics and some experiments you can actually do. In the meantime, if there is anything that you would like to learn, please leave a notice below. And be sure to subscribe. It helps us to continue these lessons. And we'll keep doing as many as we can to advance your skills. So until then, have a great day and have fun with Algodoo. It's really a cool tool.